and you say, Tyler, you got a topic for us. Bang, bang, boom.
All right.
And I'm ready to talk.
Okay. All right.
Let's do this.
All right. Your enthusiasm it frightens me.
Good. Ooh, spooky.
God, get it away.
Is it like an actual life form? But my spookiness.
Your essence is engulfing me, and I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it at all.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I want to get started.
Hell yeah!
You keep giving me a willy of a frighten. Hello and welcome to the Central Nerdous System podcast, where everything is nerdy like us. I'm John.
And I'm Tyler.
And today, we missed a week, Tyler. You know, the Consistency Squad really got goofed up.
Let's talk about why we missed a week, sick boy.
Why don't we start with you?
What about me? Oh yeah, I got you sick? Is that the problem?
Yeah, you got me sick.
Well, I would have toughed it out. When I was sick, I would have been on this podcast. I would have been ready to go.
Yo, I could not talk. Like, I had, no voice.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that was, peak sickness. Like, I missed my actual job the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was, needed to recover.
Were you down with the sickness?
I was down with the sickness. I was not up. I was quite down.
You were down. Okay.
It was pretty sad, too. Because I was like, I want to do a podcast, and
it's okay.
now I can't.
It's okay. We're back at it. Don't worry. We're here. We're ready to talk about some things.
Yeah, we're back for episode 4, and it's going to be Halloween in a couple days, so
yeah.
I'm definitely excited. Tyler, you got any Halloween plans?
Well, at the cafe, we just had our first annual Halloween party.
I was there.
You were there. It was pretty fun. We had a big game of werewolf being played in the middle there. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I was the sheriff.
Yeah.
Basically all the time, which means I died. Basically all the time.
Yep. Also, you had those little kids commanding and directing everything.
That was great. They really got into it.
Yeah, they want to go back to the other nights when we do the werewolf night. So that's pretty exciting. So
yeah, that's a lot of fun. I was really disappointed with my friend group there. None of them wanted to play werewolf.
Yeah, they played Codenames, right? Is that what they were
played
playing?
Codenames.
Yeah. Well, you guys were just playing Avalon before that, though. Which is kind of in the same realm of social deduction, so.
Well, it's not. They didn't skip werewolf because they already played Avalon. It's just because none of them like werewolf. All of them said they do not like werewolf.
I personally am not a big fan of either, only because I haven't played it enough. I guess maybe I just didn't play with the right people the first time I played it, but.
The issue with werewolf is unlike Avalon and the Resistance.
It's more structured. Those two are more structured.
They're more structured, and you can kind of get to a deduction easier. With werewolf, you honestly know nothing until night 2 or 3.
Yeah, so the first couple people to die are just out of whim.
Yeah, literally the first one you kill is just random almost.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dude, I don't know of a way you can give a tell that someone's the werewolf or not.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people dislike it, but.
If it was more like Town of Salem, where they had all the roles and whatnot, you can kind of piece it together a little bit better.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. And I think that's... So. But that's also, I think it's why I like Avalon, because it's a simplistic take on it, but in a more linear direction. You have a really direct goal for each side, instead of just surviving.
Yeah.
There is some repercussions to different strategies in that game, but...
There should be a Town of Salem board game. They could somehow make that work.
They probably could very easily make it work. So, anyways,
you didn't actually say what you were doing for Halloween, though.
What was I doing for Halloween?
Yeah.
I will be working at the cafe. Sadly, but whatever, it's fine. I mean, this will be the second year we're not doing the haunted house, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
We did a haunted house at my house for about 5 years, I think, or 4 or 5 years we did it.
Yeah, I think 1 year we had to skip it because of Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah, the weather was too bad. It just wasn't going to work. Mm-hmm. But that's one of the things we did throughout high school. It was a lot of fun, but sadly it's kind of starting to fade away. I would love to do it when I'm older and have a house and have kids. I would love to bring back that haunted house type thing.
Oh, yeah, the thing we could do with it.
Oh, it's going to be great. But
if you ever get on a more consistent schedule where you don't have to work there every night,
yeah,
you can... I could see a return of the haunted house.
Oh, I thought about doing one at the cafe.
Yeah.
Or something small or fun there, too. I almost thought about doing it, but it's just a lot of work on top of everything else. But Yeah, but as far as Halloween goes, I have an interesting topic for us today.
You do?
Yes, all about...
Shut your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you for watching this episode of the podcast.
Anyways, so my first topic today is directly about Halloween, is what makes horror movies scary or just plain cheesy? Yes.
So, I guess the first thing to talk about is, our experience with horror films. Do we like them or not? Tyler, are you a big horror movie fan, or?
Yeah, I watched a lot of horror movies, not because of my brother didn't really get into them. I just, for some reason, I don't know what made me love them so much. I liked the idea of being scared. I don't know what it is. I like that kind of thrill of it and everything. I was more intrigued. I used to watch just clips of horror movies, all the scary shots on YouTube all the time when I was younger, so... but what about you?
I'm a little bitch. And,
yeah?
I hate horror movies. Well, here's the weird thing. I like creepy concepts. I like to write stuff that's dark or spooky or scary.
Yeah, which is confusing.
I don't like watching horror movie, though, because I guess I feel like I'm out of control of the situation.
Do you get nightmares easily? Or...
Oh, I get terrified, easily if I'm doing something scary, especially at night.
Yeah.
Big example, and they're going to sound kind of silly, but Herobrine from Minecraft.
Ah, yeah.
When I first heard of Herobrine at night, I know, it's a video game. It's not even going to hurt me if I sit here, but, for me, the idea of, a creature that moves when you can't see them.
Yeah. No, and that's
terrifying to me.
And that's
I did not sleep that night. I stayed up all night.
What game was it?
The Slender Man.
Slender Man screwed you up a little bit too.
That was a all-nighter for me.
That screwed me up a little bit too because when I first played it, I played it by myself in my room, lights off, like an idiot, and I was so terrified I could not look away from my laptop screen. I'm laying in bed, just casually playing. I had headphones on, fully immersed in that game, and every time I looked away, I would just start, my heart would pound. I'm like, oh my god, he's right there. Oh my god, he's right there. And I never played that game again.
For me, if you get one of the things that really gets to me, as a terrifying thing, it doesn't even really matter if it's scary or not, because Herobrine is in and of itself is not a scary thing.
Correct.
And Slender, you can even argue, is not that scary.
No.
The game, at least.
Yeah.
Because it's just a jump scare thing.
It is, but it's the idea of something following you.
Gets me.
It's something following
that
you.
stews with you.
Yeah. No, I completely get it, because it's something that can happen. It's very realistic, someone watching you and following you. It is a realistic thing. And I think that's what strikes a nerve with a lot of people when it comes to horror stuff, is that, in a sense, what makes it good and what makes it cheesy is that horror movies that hit the right nerve with more of a realistic approach usually are the better ones. The ones that people are like, oh shit, that really can happen. That's nothing you mess around with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what really gets the real nightmares out of people. As far as some movies that go with the purposeful jump scares, they're directly throwing in your face on purpose, it's predictable.
Yeah. Then
it's just you roll your eyes okay, whatever. It's fine.
For me, a jump scare will get me, but I'm not happy about it at the end. It's not oh, what a good thing I watched. It was just nah, they just got me a cheap shot there. And...
Exactly, and I think it's what a lot of horror films, they do the shocker method nowadays, and that's why so many horror films lately have been so bad, because they either beat something till it's dead, what was that movie? About the ghosts.
Paranormal Activity.
They beat that till it was dead. There's nothing left near the end of that series. It just wasn't good anymore, in my opinion.
It's just kind of ghosts in the thing. Hopefully we live.
Uh-huh.
A lot of horror movies, honestly, because after a while, sometimes it just, all right, let it lie,
Well,
there's so many horror movies of certain genre, like Friday the 13th and Halloween.
I've never gotten so there's always the Halloween favorites, the Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers and all those main figures in the Halloween universe of scary movies. I never really liked them. I again, because there was such a I don't really get into the fictional horror of it all. I don't get into the characters as much. I get more into I like scary movies that are, you don't know who they are. There is no rhyme or reason. You don't really have too much of a backstory of the killer.
Yeah.
And they're just doing it because they do it. Like, that's what's scarier to me.
Yeah, it also gives you kind of like a almost like a folklore presence to them. Since, if you think about the Joker, for example, from Batman, not a horror movie example, but still a scary figure.
Yeah.
What makes the Joker really terrifying is that you don't really know where his background came from. He just showed up one day, manifested, and he's causing chaos.
Yeah, and he's just doing it because that's what he does.
And my dad, who read the Red Hood comic, where they gave Joker a backstory, he's like, he felt that kind of took it away from the Joker. Mm-hmm. And the character was like, well, okay, now you have a story. He's just some goon who fell into some colorful liquid and ended up being a bad guy.
Yeah.
So I mean,
no, I get it. It's definitely what makes a killer or a evil guy good or bad. Like, as far as in the cinematic world of things, there is a lot of good films that do the generic concepts right. Like, obviously, you have your main themes of horror. You have gore, like gory films are very bloody and just meant to be that way, which either can be really, really cheesy or can be really, really good. Mm-hmm. You also have your shocker ones or the gross ones, which a great example of that's a terrible movie is The Human Centipede.
Yeah.
That's a shocker film to me because it's such a gross concept and so weird on so many levels that it's not scary. It's just like, what the heck?
It's just kind of gross.
Yeah, it's just like, you're more just grossed out, and it's not like you might get nightmares from it, but but again,
I mean, the concept's terrifying, but like it's just kind of like, it's more gross than terrifying.
Yeah,
gross that movie.
There's actually a movie on Netflix I just saw. It came out, I think, last year or this year. It's called Patchwork, and the concept at the surface sounds really just gross and stuff, but they did it in a comedic way. Like, it was a comedy horror in a sense. Mm-hmm. So it was making fun of the fact that it was cheesy at the same time. But
what's it about at all?
So the concept is essentially this guy kidnapped 3 women, and he took all 3 women, cut them up into different pieces, and then patched them together and made one woman.
All right.
So in the face of this creature is literally you have 3 different faces, and you have scars going like peace sign on the face. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and they all and what's the interesting thing is they take this concept, and when she wakes up, they go into her brain, and then all women are normal, and they're battling all these different women, like 3 different women battling to control this person's body. So, like, because there's 3 parts of the brain in one. And that's kind of what they were going with, but like one's
which
like
would work in real life, of course.
Yes, exactly. But again, the concept of it was so weird and just out there. It's not scary.
Do you think it was trying to be funny, or do you think it was accidentally funny?
No. It was purposely trying to be funny.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
So that's when it's not cheesy, because they understand how ridiculous this scenario is. Mm-hmm. But it's not scary. Like, it's not a good scare for me. It's interesting to watch, but it's not a good scare.
I'm not sure how well I can do it, because I can't really deal with body horror stuff.
Oh, you would? No,
like,
you would.
An example was, this isn't a horror movie, but just shows you how I can easily get terrified by these things.
Yeah.
In middle school,
yeah,
my teacher was showing us Oprah clips.
Oprah clips?
Yeah, just clips of Oprah of like various.
Are you doing the burn victim thing?
The burn victim thing.
Okay.
Jackie Sabrino, and I remember that name because, like, they were showing I was sitting in class there, Mm-hmm. They were showing like her life before that, and then she got into a car wreck, and now she looks like this, and they show the screen there, like the color drained from my body. I was like absolutely terrified. And I could not look. I was on the ground. I felt bad too because, like, obviously, like,
well, of course,
cowering in fear of a disfigured woman.
Well, you're not cowering in fear. You're fearing of just the entire scenario in itself of someone being drastically. Just what happened to them is terrifying. If it happened to you, it's more of that fear of that happening.
Mm-hmm. I did not sleep that week. I did not sleep at all that week. I was tired. It was an awful week for me. Like, I couldn't deal with it. That was like the scariest thing I had ever seen in my entire life.
Like, you would not probably be able to handle the medical field whatsoever.
Nope.
You'd be in the ER and someone comes in with their arm broken into two and the bone coming right out. You'll probably faint on the spot.
I've seen videos like that, and I was like I have to like kind of look away. I wince away from it because like it's too much. Like anything that involves like body horror, like things sticking out of places, eyes. If something involving like getting an eye removed, oh boy, am I filling the pants with
That's a good point you brought up. Is that then there's another element of shocker horror. Where it's purposely, it's based off scenes. So, like, the main plot of a horror movie is usually pretty crappy. Mm-hmm. Whereas in shocker films, the overall plot's terrible, but they have certain scenes that really get you. And a franchise that does that very well is the Saw series. That's why it's so popular. It has so many films. Yeah. And they're now coming out with a new one years later. Mm-hmm. I'm wanting to see it because the last one they did like Saw 3D, which was just god awful.
Are you saying that you can see Saw?
I can see Saw in the theaters. Yes. Oh god, man. But to point out, so I've watched every single Saw film, and in the beginning, because I think it was like 2004 the first one was out, I think. So the visual effects were still a little lacking for me. But I think that's what adds to the thrill and the scare of it because of how grungy it looks. Yeah. Like this old feeling, and just that adds more to the effect. Nowadays you got this crisp, clean looking people, and the graphics are just spot on, and it just doesn't actually feel scary anymore.
Hi, I'm Chad Chatson, and I'm in Saw.
Well, no, but like you don't. It's hard to explain. So like you have the main characters in there, the ones that are getting like attacked or killed or whatever, and you don't get a true feeling of what they look like because of how the quality of the cameras were back then. Even in the 80s and 90s, just the horror films back then.
Back in dinosaur times of 2004.
Yeah, well, okay, but it had a certain foggy vibe. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
We didn't have HD yet.
Yeah.
It was just.
But so that added to the charm of films, and I think that's why a lot of the best horror films are pre high definition. So like when Saw first started, there's one scene in there, and I think it's the second one, where a man. So Saw he put a Venus flytrap thing around his head.
Yeah.
On a timer.
Like a big old bear trap.
Yeah. Right in his face. He had 60 seconds, and he had to find the key to unlock it off of him.
It's my favorite game show.
Obviously, the key was surgically implanted in his eye.
Oh, yes. I'm aware of this scene.
Yes.
I cannot watch this scene.
You were talking about eye dismemberment. Mm-hmm.
So this. I remember because back in the day, I think it was me, you, and Matt hanging out.
We were watching on YouTube.
You were watching on YouTube, and I was just like, no, no, I'm gonna look that way.
Matt can barely do it too, though. It's tough. Like that's one of the most cringeworthy scenes for me because it's just even just poking my eye like that whole. It's just such a sensitive area.
I didn't get contact lenses for solely that reason. I can't do that. Well, one, I'm a big goof that will probably just end up poking my eye out if I even try.
True. Very, very true.
I'm a big goofus with long fingernails, so. Yeah.
The idea of contact lenses is a weird concept to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get the you don't have to wear glasses, but it's just like, it's just weird. You're just putting this slimy little bubble.
Also, like, there's so much that can go wrong. Like, every one I've seen with contact lenses is just like, has had a bad time, like about 50% of the time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, I lost my contact lens. Oh no, it shifted in my eye. Oh no, it got sucked up back into my eye and I can see my inner thoughts.
Oh god. So, back to some ideas of different horror. So we covered gore. We kind of did the shocker-esque thing. Then there is another one of my favorites, which is it's more suspense. That's my favorite type of horror because it's not about the nightmare-inducing scenes. It's just the thrill of the chase and everything about it.
Yeah.
Which I think is more your realm of horror.
It is. I'm a big fan. I like psychological type horror movies, and there was one movie, and I'm kicking myself because I'm blanking on the name of it.
If you give me a description, I might be able to.
It's been so long. I just remember enjoying it.
Okay.
I watched it with my dad, and it's a movie that he likes, and he's not around, so I can't ask him quick.
Yeah.
So he's still alive. It's just that he's not in the immediate area.
He is working at this very moment.
He's working at this particular moment.
Yes.
But I like the way they did it because they kind of they set up an atmosphere that was a little unnerving.
Yep.
And they make you kind of doubt what you're seeing on the screen. You're doubting the narrator. The character's having issues dealing with it.
Okay.
Another one I remember from back in the day was a film called Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
Okay.
Where she where this girl's in a farmhouse. I think there's vampires and whatnot. It's an okay movie, but there was a lot of good stuff they did was kind of soft whispers at times throughout the film where they're kind of going Jessica.
Okay.
And you get kind of unnerved by that.
So you enjoy the internal struggle in a character more than anything. Or in a sense that they're hurting themselves it's all on them.
Mm-hmm. I love mental horror.
Yep.
Several stories I've done in the past kind of deal with that as a topic.
Yes.
Just doubting yourself. Spoiler alert, I'm a big fan of The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
Which employs those themes. It's not really a horror movie, but
it's a Halloween. It is actually a popular movie around Halloween time because of the suspense factor of it.
Oh yeah, it's a very. See, I feel the best horror movies really set up an atmosphere, a suspense that makes you kind of unnerved.
Yeah.
Not a horror movie, but a game I really enjoy, Lone Survivor. Have you ever played it?
Yeah, I think we played it together that one time.
Well, we played Home, which is similar.
Okay, but no, I do know the concept of Lone Survivor, though.
Yeah. That game, you're working in 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
It's very hard to make a 2D horror game.
True.
Most 2D horror games are basically Sonic.exe.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And even Home, which we played, had a jump scare in the form of a cat.
Yeah, it was whatever.
But that was more, I think they were just trying to be silly with that one.
Yeah.
But Lone Survivor managed to make, this really, everything's really dark. There's not a lot of light. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
Going in, you're finding out information going along. The creatures are terrifying. The little, the fleshy creatures that kind of have it that you have to try and sneak around.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying to look at, even in pixel graphics.
Well, I think what really helps set the mood for those type of games is the music as well.
Yeah.
It's not just the
music always helps.
That's the biggest part of suspense and bringing the atmosphere together.
Or the lack of music at times. Can
very, very true. Which is a good point to point out for a very realistic approach when you watch what's the show? 13 Reasons Why. And there's one of the one scene, you know what I'm talking about, and there's absolutely no sound during it.
Yeah.
We won't spoil anything.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So stuff like that really adds to the feeling of just the realism and the thrill, the scariness of it. But a good movie, I don't know if you've seen it, is American Psycho.
I've not seen American Psycho.
So American Psycho is actually one of my top 5 favorite horror movies of all time. Kind of goes in the same realm of The Shining and stuff like that. But American Psycho is a psychological horror that also has some gory elements to it. Mm-hmm. But you get really into the character itself. It's all about the internal of him becoming psychotic and going crazy. That's the whole progression of it. You're taking this simple businessman and throwing him into these crazy mental struggles.
Yeah.
And you really get immersed in the character itself. You start to feel like the character because of how good the directing and the cinematography and the atmosphere in the movie. That's why it's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Because it's not it progresses so gradually throughout it that when it gets to the final like rush and the climax of the film, it's like you're like, oh my god. And I watched it late at night. I think I was watching it with ZD or something, and I think maybe Matt was there, but ZD fell asleep when I watched it, and and I was just fully enjoying it. But another one of my favorites is actually, I was going to point out, because Stranger Things, the second season of Stranger Things just came out.
Stranger Things, my favorite show.
Yeah, no, don't get me started. This man next to me has not even watched season 1. Okay, I understand.
I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I liked them, but I was busy and I never picked it up.
So it's hard to, like, okay, so Stranger Things kind of has a refreshing suspense. Mm-hmm. Whereas it is scary, and not in a way that's going to give you, like, okay, the music, everything's really, really good, spot on. Obviously, there is refreshing points where it calms it down. Because it's a TV series, it's not a movie, so there's not like a general, story, finish and end, climax in each episode. I mean, there kind of is. You obviously have your cliffhangers and everything like that, but it's the perfect amount of thrill and suspense versus just happiness at the same time. Because the main characters, it has the same realm of the Goonies, the character cast for the kids, where they're very, very, they're relatable in a lot of ways, and I think it's what makes it refreshing and stuff like that, and that's why it's one of my favorite series right now, and I have yet to start watching the second season, because I have to wait for Savannah, and she wants to watch it together, so.
I'm not sure if I can deal with Stranger Things. All my favorite characters die in that.
Yeah.
I only watched the first episode. I unfortunately got spoiled about one character that dies later on. I won't say who it is on here.
I know who you're talking about.
Like,
well, potential.
So far, of characters I like, 2 for 2 dead.
No, one still on the fence. One character still on the fence.
One's still on the fence, but like from what I've heard, 2 for 2 have been
technically
dead.
Yes. Lastly,
I can spoil the first one though, because literally in the first episode, Burger Man.
Oh, Burger Man.
Burger Man, like I was like, oh yeah, guy with the burgers, love him so much. Can't wait to see him in this series.
Dead. Just hit him like a wall. Boom. Dead.
Instantly dead. And I'm like, this is what Game of Thrones fans feel like.
Yeah, it's a lot different than that. You liked him just because of his little scene there.
What? No.
Game of Thrones, you get attached and fully invested.
I was on board with Burger Man. Like he had me. He had me at hello.
Wow.
Burger Man.
Really?
Burger Man was my second favorite character after the first episode, but he died. And then my first favorite character, who I won't say, is also potentially dead.
Potentially. There's hope, and that's why
my least favorite character.
That's why you need to watch it.
Probably alive.
Because then you'd understand the potential.
Mm-hmm. I really do need to check it out, but I've been swamped lately.
Yeah. With
work and personal projects, so I've not actually checked that sucker out.
Yeah. So we've covered a lot of good horror films and stuff like that. There's another one I was going to bring up. It's called The Babadook, which is actually more of a recent film.
I've heard so many good things about The Babadook.
Okay, so
but can I endure The Babadook is the question.
Okay, well, here's the good thing. All right. We'll make this the John horror test scale thing. Mm-hmm. So, essentially, The Babadook, I watched it. It's a phenomenal film for psychological horror.
Is it scarier than Courage the Cowardly Dog?
It is scarier than Courage.
I'm not sure if I can handle it.
Courage the Cowardly Dog had some pretty scary stuff, though.
Courage, when I was a kid,
yeah,
that the little girl in that room with like the string instrument.
Yep, and then there's the guy
that goofed me.
There's also the guy that stands outside. I forget his name, but the ghoul-looking dude. Mm-hmm. That one's pretty freaky. There's a lot of stuff in that show that was pretty screwed up. Like, it's surprising that it lasted that long, especially on Cartoon Network, because of how scary some of the elements were. Which,
for me, the little girl was kind of a jump scare for me, but like some of the other ones, like the You're Not Perfect guy.
Yes.
Like, that I really enjoyed, because that wigged me out, but like, I enjoy actually stuff that kind of unnerves you. like kind of like unnerving stuff, like something that's so surreal that your human impulse of comprehension is questioned.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually watching a video about the Sonic games recently, like all the Sonic horror games.
Sonic horror games?
Yeah. Like, Sonic.exe.
All
the hacks and mods and whatnot.
Okay, yeah.
The one of, like, what was it, Sonic Movie Maker? Have you ever seen anything on that?
I do not want to talk about that. Oh, no.
Like,
no.
They did such a good job with it, though.
I know they did, but I know.
It was so unsettling and so weird.
Yes,
and
it was.
So beyond your comprehension. Especially a secret Easter egg in there that's... hot damn. I watched that at night. I was not sure if I was going to sleep that night.
It ruined Sonic for me. Let's put it that way.
Nah, Sonic was ruined for me from when I first met him, because I don't like Sonic the Hedgehog at all.
Alright, okay, so...
Well, as a character, I
off
don't
track,
like
Sonic the Hedgehog series is shit. Now. The first two Sonic games and Sonic and Knuckles, they're good. They're very respectable side-scroller.
My favorite ball boy.
But they released Sonic Mania, which uses the old school vibe recently.
Yeah.
Very good.
I heard a lot of good things.
I played it.
That came out of nowhere, though.
It did. It did. I played it at my brother's house, and it was really, really fun. Like, it had a good vibe. Obviously, it was just taking old Sonic levels and making it like a mix-up. But really, really good. If they did more in that direction, I think that they could bring back the series.
Yeah, 3D Sonic games just don't seem to work.
Well, I mean, I enjoyed Sonic Adventure 2. A lot of people get mad at that statement, but...
I'll fight you right here, right now.
I enjoyed that game, mainly because it was a special place in my heart, time and period. Whatever.
Running around at the speed of sound.
But we got way off topic from Babadook.
The Babadook?
We were talking about the Babadook.
Oh, is Sonic in the Babadook?
No, he's not in the Babadook.
What? What a faux pas on the director not to include Sonic the Hedgehog.
But we'll end with Babadook here, and then we'll move on to the next topic you have. But, okay, so...
No, man, I'll talk about more all day. I'll talk about everything.
You should watch the Babadook.
You make me.
I will. I will sit you down and make you watch The Babadook, An American Psycho, and a bunch of good other ones. And I need you to finish Stranger Things so I can talk to you about it. Anyways, The Babadook takes a simple children, like, boogeyman concept.
Mm-hmm. Like Sonic.
Not like Sonic. Okay? It takes this boogeyman concept and just really hits it home. Like, it's really hard to describe the feeling of it because every kid has nightmares, has their own boogeyman. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the boogeyman is just a reference to something you think is under your bed or something that you think is looking at you while you sleep.
My boogeyman was Owen Wilson.
Oh, God.
Wow. Who's there?
just imagine him in your closet, just poking his head out. Wow. That's a talking car.
No.
No, Owen Wilson, no!
No, I'm in a romantic comedy with him.
No, the dog is dead!
No!
Marley, no!
My dog!
Oh! Owen, what did you do?
Owen Wilson is just a creepypasta monster that in the dead of night kills your dog.
Oh, no! And your dog, for some reason, is always named Marley.
It kills your dog and leaves a name tag that says Marley on it in place of where the dog was.
Oh,
it's just a couple lumps of fur from the dog so you know that it was your dog. And then Marley.
Oh, no.
Oh, and there's like little claw marks that lead toward the doggy door. Oh, that'd be scary for dogs.
That would be very scary.
Very scary for dogs.
Yeah.
If I were a miniature schnauzer, I'd be petrified.
Uh-huh.
Well, are you telling me that the bad man that says "whoa" is going to take me in the dead of night away from my beloved family?
Oh my God! Oh no! Anyways, back to the task at hand. Babadook. Boogeyman concept, right?
Mm-hmm. Owen Wilson, got it.
No.
Owen Wilson is the Babadook.
The best part about it is you're not only feeling the pain of the child, you're also feeling the fear and the pain of the parent. and having both of those collide in a cinematic masterpiece of a horror film is what makes Babadook one of my favorite horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. Good movie.
That's a good movie.
But no.
For me, I've not watched a lot of horror movies because I'm a little scaredy pants. But I did enjoy the original Halloween. Okay. I like that film because, it's shot realistically. There's no outrageous special effects.
True.
It's a very real fear. You're alone in a house with a couple people and there's someone trying to kill you at every corner.
Yep.
You don't learn much about Michael Myers. You don't. Yeah, the first movie, so there's not much in there. Yeah. That film score, the music, sets the scene absolutely perfectly. Some of the best spooky tunes possible.
Yeah.
And overall, it was just such a solid. I thought it was a pretty solid film. I wasn't overly terrified during it, which is why I liked it. But
I think that sequels for horror films are bad. Because of the
usually, yeah. I would say.
I think it's because of the concept you said, because in the first Halloween, you didn't really know much about Michael Myers. Mm-hmm. And that's the scary part about it. When you get to Halloween 2 and the second one and all the sequels,
you learn more about him.
You're like, oh well, he's doing the same thing to different people.
And also, a lot of the time, if you start, especially if you start getting to number 3, number 4, number 5.
Yes.
At that point, the scenario of how they get into this particular situation just becomes how. Psycho 2 is not very good.
No.
Because he's like, oh, we'll release Norman Bates back into society. What could go wrong?
Oh, yeah. Bates Motel's a good show, though. Referring to Norman Bates.
I watched the first episode. That was pretty good.
It's a very, very well-made show.
We watched it, I think...
Did you watch it with me?
I didn't watch it with you, I don't think. I think I actually watched it in school. I think part of a film class or something.
Oh, really?
Watched it. When did it come out? Because if it came out 2013, then I watched it in film class. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it.
No, it definitely came out earlier than that. Because I was watching it 2 years ago and I already had 3 seasons. Oh, about 2012, 2013. Yeah, no.
Yeah. It came out in 2013 because in my high school film class we watched it. Which that was a good class. I had fun with that one.
Yeah.
Film class is always fun.
But you probably appreciate that show. You probably really like that show.
Mm-hmm. But some other stuff I find creepy. The Twilight Zone can be pretty terrifying if you watch a lot of them in a row.
Well, because
it just completely disconnects you from reality.
True. Very true.
I can't watch too many Twilight Zone in a row. I think as soon as I start getting to 5 or 6, 8, I remember one time I watched 8 in a row, and I don't even know. I wasn't even sure who I was anymore.
You don't even know, John. You don't even know.
I don't even know. And another one that really spooked me was a short story called Mars is Heaven. Who was it by? Was it Ray Bradbury? Because I know he wrote a lot of Mars stuff. But it was a story. It was just a short story about these astronauts land on Mars, but they land there and they find out that it's there's just this typical 50s suburban neighborhood there.
Oh.
So they get taken in, the family's really nice and whatnot.
That's weird.
And then everything's normal, the crew doesn't want to leave anymore, and one guy's kind of the one sane man.
Yeah.
Trying to keep going. But then they turn on them. It turns out they're aliens, of course, kind of shape-shifting. Yeah. And everything they knew about where they were was a lie.
Oh.
And for a while after that, I was just kind of looking at my parents. I'm like, I'm on to you guys. Because I think that's what it was. It was their parents or something. They went there and it was their parents and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So it was goofing me up big time as a young lad.
Oh, I bet. No, I get that. I get that vibe. But
so in conclusion, horror can be fun.
It is fun.
But I'm scared of it. I do not like being terrified. I like to terrify, but not to be terrified. True. I'm a little bitch.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, it's more of a. Sadly, horror films are almost like a novelty. It's more of it's like Christmas films. You only watch them. You don't. I don't watch a lot of horror films anytime unless it's around October.
Yeah, unless you're a ZD and always want to watch The Ring.
Yeah.
Any night.
Always The Ring. Notice how I didn't bring up Ring in one of my favorite horror movies?
Do you not like The Ring?
No, I do not like The Ring.
I've not watched The Ring. I hear good things.
It's good. TD. He's from Ziti. It's not a bad film.
Conceptually, The Ring is good.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get the good part about it.
But he always wants to watch it at night. I don't do horror movies at night, man. I can't do it.
I think you need to... you just got to go into my palette. Like, I watched a movie called The Cube, and I think you'd really like that.
Oh, is it Minecraft?
No, it is not Minecraft.
I don't know. I'm terrified of Herobrine, remember?
True. Very true. But no, that was a good film. Anyways, I can go on and on because I've watched probably over 100 horror films. So, But, anyways, you had a topic today.
I sure do.
Kind of taken away from fake horror to kind of a realistic horror.
Yeah. We're gonna get into some serious topics right now.
Yeah.
So if you don't deal with some matters like this, you may want to not stick around for this one. But real story and something that's just been occurring lately.
Yeah.
We talk about pop culture, nerd culture, stuff like that. The Loud House, which is a very popular show on Nickelodeon, it's got a pretty big fan base, and it's currently one of the few cartoons that's breaking the SpongeBob standard for the channel. It's actually doing pretty well. They might continue with that further.
That's good.
Because a lot of other Nick shows, they pull the plug after a season or two if it doesn't take off right away.
How many seasons have they done?
I think they're on season 2.
Oh, okay, so they are only in the second
season. It's second season or something like
okay.
that.
All right.
But Chris Savino, who is a longtime animator, I want to say maybe 20-year veteran of the animation industry, was recently outed as having done various sexual harassment scenarios throughout at least the past 10 years.
Just gross.
Exactly, and I'm glad the people finally came out. They were able to, call him out on it finally. And Nickelodeon took action. They released him from the channel.
Yeah.
They fired him. And they have taken over the Loud House. They're going to continue without him.
Yeah.
So,
which is a good move. Nickelodeon made the right decision. Because a lot of places would still keep someone on like that, sadly.
Mm-hmm. We've had so many scenarios like this in recent time, which I guess you can say is almost a good thing, since that they're being outed now. They're not staying in the industry.
Women, or even men are having the courage to come out and actually can tell people their stories, because a lot of people hold that stuff in because they don't want to ruin someone's career, even though they ruined them for the rest of their life mentally. And physically in some points, too. In the
Savino case, a lot of times he was threatened to have them blacklisted from the industry.
Oh, wow.
So that's why a lot of people don't come forward, because, especially in that industry, because...
I hate people that use power to... It's not even like they're using a physical power. They're using, blacklisting them and blackmail because of their ability to affect their lives so dramatically, to just make them do whatever they want to them. It's awful. It's god-awful.
Yep, and, we've had so many instances of it lately. Weinstein, most notably.
Yep.
I keep forgetting his name. I apologize for not remembering what his name was, because we looked up just before the start of the podcast, and I don't remember it, but he was a political pundit for MSNBC. He also recently was out as doing some sexual harassment things at ABC News.
Yep.
And we even had another cartoon scenario that's a couple years back with Skylar Page of Clarence. They were in their first season. They made it about like 6 episodes in.
Yeah.
Was him voicing Clarence and being the creator of the show when this came out, and they fired him from the show and continued on without him. So, I mean, it's hard because I don't think we can, in the span of this podcast, come up with a solution to this problem.
No.
Because, really the only thing is just, coming forward and taking down the people. I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds, and as, we're just two guys here that, obviously change will happen.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about all this, is that obviously awareness is becoming more mainstream now of the concept. That's why a lot of women are getting the courage to come out and tell their stories. Because once one woman does it, they become the leader. In anything, when someone has the courage, it inspires a lot of other people. And like, I think what really started a lot of this is all the YouTube drama, like online drama. There's a lot of women, like the Tobuscus thing.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the bigger ones that really started all this online stuff about women confessing to things. And could the allegations be true or not? You know, you never know, because a lot of women could be doing it just for attention. But again, mostly it's pretty accurate, because why would someone make up that? You know, that's it affects them. And I hate the people that really assume they're like, oh, they're just doing it for attention. They just want to be famous. It's like, oh, come on. Like, really?
Yeah, I hate the dismissal of people. Like, some people are so quick to just dismiss it as not the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with the system of, like, you know, obviously you're innocent until proven guilty under our legal system.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, you know, there's got to be some basis for these events. But, like, I hate the people that just automatically dismiss it, like, oh, they must be lying before we even, like, any information happens or anything. It's just the accusation.
Yep.
The Bill Cosby one was a big thing, I think, for the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Because, you know, someone who's considered like a titan in the industry,
someone that was beloved by families, children, everyone.
Yeah, Mr. Goofy Sweater from the Cosby Show. You know, the family man, the perfect dad.
Yeah, literally.
And he ended up being one that sexually harassed, drugged women. I think that really was like the first tipping point to start, you know, these accusations coming to light.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, you had people like Michael Jackson that had a lot of stuff back in the day. There's always been controversy, and there's always been these certain situations, especially in celebrities, because no one, even celebrities, is perfect. Everyone has a dark side into them in some weird way. Mm-hmm. And when you become so big like that, it's so much easier to cover it up because of the power you have. You see a lot of artists and stuff that still go through a lot of this controversy and get stuck in all these scandals and all this stuff, but yet still people still like them. Like, there's some people that still don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and that's which I think you're going to bring the point about Loud House.
So I wanted to bring this up because obviously the fans of the show, The Loud House, are not the biggest victims in here. It's obviously the victims of the sexual harassment. But,
yes.
You know, as I was saying, like, we really can't, you know, offer a concrete solution here in this podcast. Just us two guys here by a microphone.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you know, social change, industry change needs to occur. I know there are people taking steps to try and, you know, make a safe space for women in the industry. I believe Pendleton Ward is who is a Adventure Time creator.
Yeah.
He's working to create something like that. So, you know, I applaud the efforts of those in the industry that are looking to change the industry. As someone who wants to be in the animation industry, I would like to go into an industry that, you know, treats everyone with respect and dignity.
But true, it's not just that industry.
It's not just that industry.
All industries that this exists. And the issue is just we need to erase the ignorance from a lot of people. Because a lot of people will just throw it, like, they'll see it. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that see bad things happen, but if it doesn't affect their lives, well, who cares?
Yeah.
And that's the sad truth about a lot of people nowadays. And the big problem is, again, creating this awareness, plugging it into people so that we can then have everyone understand this is a bad thing. Let's not let it happen. Even if you don't even know the person that it's happening to. Be a hero. Step up. Say something. It's as simple as that. You know, if you see something that's unsettling, even if you got to put yourself in their shoes. If it's unsettling to you watching it, then stop it. Do something. I know it might affect you in the road by being a quote-unquote snitch, but in the long run, you're going to be helping that woman or man, whoever's being harassed, for the rest of their life.
And also a big thing would be, you know, just making sure that people who are in power have checks on them.
True.
Because that's where a lot of these scenarios came from. Because if you look at the people involved, they're, you know, basically all these scenarios, it seems that it's someone who's in power, feels and uses that power to get what they want.
Yep.
Both in even to, like, you know, the Weinsteins and Cosby, where they're titans of the industry, to Savino and Lane, who are maybe not the top of their industry, but are industry veterans and whatnot.
Yeah.
To even some of the YouTubers, because they're low level people who have a hint of 15 minutes of fame and are using that to their nefarious ways.
It's like a micro hierarchy type system there, like even in the YouTube system where they are so small in the grand scheme of things in the media industry. But yet even then, make such a big impact in the younger crowds.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel there's so much... I respect the community of people. Once they see someone that's that grotesque and doing something that way, you notice their career's just shot. They're gone. I mean, you look at Tobuscus. The man can't even get more than a couple thousand views on some of his videos. He used to be in the millions. No one wants to watch this guy now. Or, in any situation like that.
But I was going to bring up just kind of a segueing topic of this scenario. So obviously, like we said, the fans of the Loud House aren't the biggest victims here. It's obviously those who are affected directly by the sexual harassment. But looking online, I know in the days between the Cartoon Brew article coming out and the official confirmation by Nickelodeon, that, where they said their piece about what they were going to do with the show and what they were doing with Savino, I noticed like there's like a huge like panic within that particular fan base of just like, oh God, what's going to happen to the show? What's going on here? How will this affect everything?
Yeah.
Can I still enjoy the show even from some people? And I feel I just want to ask the question, just like, say someone you like in the entertainment industry or of anything like music, television, and whatnot, has this, does something bad like this. Can you separate it from the work, or does it really taint the work forever?
That's a good point. So, the Loud House, I'll go back to the Loud House here. He is the creator of the show. You said that a lot of the elements to the show are inspired by his personal life when he was growing up.
Yeah, because he grew up in a large family. I think a couple of the characters named after his real-life sisters.
Yeah. But when you are on a project that, like, of that mass, of that size, the show isn't made by just him. There's hundreds of people that work and collaborate to make these projects to life. It's impossible for one man to do that. And that's why you have writing teams and brainstorming people that just brainstorm all day long and spit ideas, and that's what creates the element and the greatness of the show that you fell in love with. Not just the man that is harassing women. So a lot of people can't separate it. A lot of people, once they hear it, just like, nope, throw that out the window, never going to see that again because of how bad it is. But you can't discredit all of the work that goes into that show. You know how hard it is to get animating and creating. It's a difficult process.
Yes. With a lot of people, a lot of hours, a lot of time.
So, and all those other people that are a part of it aren't really at fault. You know what I mean? So, when it comes to like a solo, let's go for between a project like that and a singer.
Yeah.
So let's compare, say, Chris Brown. Obviously, with the beating Rihanna and all that stuff, all the controversy he's been in. I hate him.
Yeah.
I do not want to listen to Chris Brown's music ever. Mainly because I don't like the music personally, but also because of directly it's him. There's yes, there's people that help work on the music, but it's mainly just him.
Yeah.
His persona, who he is. As far as a show, the show's identity is separate from his identity. And I feel that the fandom of this show should still stick around because they fell in love with the show. They didn't fall in love with the creator.
Yeah.
So that's my big thing on that.
In a way, it becomes kind of like, one of those paintings by Hitler scenario. Because, you can appreciate a painting painted by Adolf Hitler. Because he's painted, just landscape scenes, he's painted unoffensive things like that.
Yeah.
And, you can look at him and be like, okay, that's nice artwork. But by saying that you enjoy that particular artwork, are you saying that you agree with what Hitler does?
No.
Which I do agree with in that point. But, obviously, a celebrity that, really taints their image like that, it can be hard. Like, Chris Brown made it easy for me because I didn't like his music anyways.
Well,
I thought he wasn't very good to start with, but it just gave me a reason not to listen to it anymore.
Here's a good example of me having a tough time. Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually didn't listen to a lot of Michael Jackson when I was younger. I started listening to his music once he passed away, which actually a lot of people in our generation did.
Yeah.
My parents never really exposed it to me. So I started listening. I only knew him as this guy that possibly touched children. Okay? Molested children, whatever. I only saw it on the news when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And I just thought Michael Jackson was this terrible person. But then I listened to his music. And I watched documentaries. I fell in love with his lifestyle, like as he grew up. I watched the Jackson 5. I loved everything about Michael Jackson. And it almost erased and made me forget about the things that he did or potentially did. People still don't know. It's up in the air. I mean, there's still potentials that he probably did, but I still appreciate the music and what he did because he had a rough life growing up in the Jackson 5. There's a lot of elements to what possibly he could have done. I'm not discrediting them. Like if he did those things, still at fault.
He's still at fault.
It's still. I'm not going to blame anything that happened in his life. He still made those decisions.
Because you can obviously like make a pinpoint. Because with Michael Jackson, like you can obviously tell what his MO. Say if you go with the interpretation that he did touch those kids. Yeah. He was someone who was desperately trying to cling to childhood. True. He named his house in the state Neverland. Yep. He was often kind of like hanging around with young boys because he never had that as a kid.
He probably had some mental problems.
He might have had some mental problems.
And as soon as his career started to die off, he hit this wall, and then that's when all this crazy stuff happened. You could go with the Illuminati aspect of things, and they tried to screw everything up. Let's not get into that.
I don't.
I don't either, but I know it exists, and it's stupid. But I think that's probably the best example I can give as far as my personal thing, because I still appreciate and love everything about Michael Jackson and what he's done in his career and everything. But even with the grotesque possible things that he could have done. Yeah. I, again, don't condone anything he would have done. But I still appreciate everything else. So...
I had a cousin who, when I was growing up, he loved Michael Jackson. Like, he loved Michael Jackson videos. He was I think a year younger than me. So I was 8 at the time. He was probably like 7. He loved Michael Jackson. Like, that was his favorite singer. Played his music videos all the time. Loved everything. And that's when we kind of found out about, like, the other stuff. Yeah. Like, all the stuff he did. And I was kind of like, ooh. How do we break it to him? I was like to my parents, and they were just like, maybe don't break it to him. Yeah. Just let him continue onward.
Let him figure it out on his own.
If he finds out later and wants to change it, just don't spoil it for him, since he's he's young, and that would probably crush him.
Yeah, because he's fallen in love with everything else about it. It's same thing for me.
I mean, like, obviously, like, for the kid. I mean, like, he didn't idolize Michael Jackson. Like, he probably wouldn't idolize that particular aspect of him.
No, but I idolized everything else he's done. Yeah. So,
like, for me, Michael Jackson, he has definitely created great art. Like, I'm not a big pop music fan. Michael Jackson, some of the few pop music I would listen to, like, Billie Jean, Thriller. His stuff with the Jackson 5 is amazing stuff.
Those are actually one of my favorites. Is all Jackson 5 music.
So, I mean, you can't argue that on a musical level that it's all good stuff. But, I mean, it's hard. I wouldn't say that I'm a Michael Jackson fan, nor do I even look up to Michael Jackson at all. Yeah. I wouldn't even say that. Interesting thing for my dad, because my dad is a big fan of the show I Spy. Have you ever...
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was a 1960s show starring Robert Culp and Bill Cosby. It was the first leading role for an African American on television.
Oh, wow.
So that was Bill Cosby's first debut. He was a spy in this this action show. Yeah. So my dad loves that show. And to be able to keep watching, he was just like, well, looking at Bill Cosby, what the earliest allegation was. The earliest allegation was after the show. So I said, maybe at this point, he was still a good guy.
Yeah.
So he said, I'll watch I Spy, thinking that this was before Bill Cosby did his thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you obviously can never know. But, no, I mean, you can still enjoy the show as a show.
So would you say that you're someone that can also look past some things in certain situations?
Yeah, I can look past it at times. I mean, like, I don't, like, idolize people. JonTron's a big example as of late. Because, like, I've read through, like, everything he said earlier in this year. And he just sounds like he knows absolutely nothing about what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's just some of the stupidest jargon I've ever seen. I've seen him in podcasts talking about more political matters. And I'm just like, what? But everything that JonTron does in terms of entertainment-wise, I think is pretty great. He's excellent comedian, excellent producing videos. His JonTron show was great. His stuff on Game Grumps was great.
Yep.
It's just an absolute shame that he has these particular views.
Yeah.
Which, like, is weird because, like, we were reading up on him.
Yeah.
And, it seemed like these particular views came out of nowhere, like left field.
True. Yeah.
Because, like, everything else beforehand, like, he was kind of like, a centrist. He voted for Obama. He was going to vote for Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what happened. I'm not sure if these thoughts were underlying or not. Especially because, like, of white nationalism, since he's not even, like, 100% white. He's part Iranian.
Yeah.
So, like, it makes even less sense. But, I mean, it does make it hard. Like, I watch a JonTron video. I'm laughing, but, like, in the back of my mind, I know, yeah, this guy said all these horrible things earlier this year.
Yep.
That really, like, mostly factually incorrect. Like, he's just wrong. On a lot of things.
No, yeah. From what we were reading up on, it was pretty awful. So,
and it just kind of it's a shame, but like you have to treat them as they were. They did a bad thing.
Yep.
So you really can't. It's hard to let it slide. You can't let it slide.
It's almost like separating work from personal life is very difficult sometimes. So like. That's his work, okay? Like, that's what he does, and then whatever his personal life, a lot of the times, is what he's displaying and what he's saying and all these bad things. Because if you appreciate the work he's doing and you enjoy the content he's spitting out, unless he starts saying the stuff that's terrible in his normal content, then it is hard. It's really hard to still like someone that feels that way or acts that way or has done something that way, and I can go on, but
Oh, also, just like on the topic of JonTron, I know A Hat in Time came out very recently, which featured JonTron in as a voice. A lot of people were upset that he was kept in the game. He was removed from Ukulele earlier this year.
Okay.
He was doing a voice in that. They just redubbed his lines. My opinion, doesn't really matter in this case. I mean, they already paid him, so it's not like by not putting in there, he's not at a net loss. So might as well just keep.
But the company,
the
company, the game creators just want to save their back. They want people to know, they took action on this matter. Yeah. And whatever.
I mean, I feel in this circumstance, it really doesn't affect anything.
No, but
him being in there or not, it's not like his face is in there or anything. Like, oh hey, I'm John.
Yeah, he literally just had some lines, and that's about it.
Because he was attached to this game since the beginning. Like they had him voice a character in the very beginning, but then they changed it to a different character later on. Yeah. So they already paid him for it. It's not like they can get the money back.
They might as well use him for his work.
Might as well use it. I mean, it doesn't affect anything. His character doesn't go on a racial tirade. Yeah. So, and, it obviously doesn't really, affect the game at all. It doesn't even make me think less of the developers of the game, like some people are, because,
Yeah, I don't. Again, some people overreact.
Yeah, I feel that it would have been an overreaction. The people who are just I'm boycotting the game now because they left his voice lines in. I feel that's a little bit overreaction.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
Since it's already, pre-recorded stuff, if they were to, like, you know, if he played like a big role and he was like a spokesperson for the game, I'd maybe say, nah, maybe go with someone else.
Yeah, no, you're right also at that point, so.
But yeah, I mean, it's a serious topic. Sometimes you gotta delve into some of the more serious topics when it comes to, you know, pop culture and
yeah, I mean,
and fandom. I don't usually like diving into topics of this level and complexity, but
it does exist and it needs to be talked about. There's nothing wrong with that. We both agree on a lot of the same matters with everything too, so it is easy to talk about it. I know things can get a little dicey when you got someone in the room that doesn't agree with you at all.
Yeah.
And then it's very, very difficult. But, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is very hard to segue from that topic. I've just found out.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. It is very hard to segue. Back to the Babadook now.
Yep. Oh, starring Owen Wilson.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, I mean, we've definitely we had our share of discussions today of two scary topics.
Yep, two
scary topics for Halloween.
Yep.
I think we can wrap this up unless you have anything else you want to talk about quick.
I mean, as far as, you know, Halloween's coming up, we kind of touched base on a lot of things. I don't really got much else to talk about as far as that goes. Yeah,
why don't we end it on a bit of a, you know, lighthearted note? Why don't we talk about, you know, what we're doing, maybe plug what we're up to. So Tyler, anything you want to plug?
Again, I'm going to plug the same thing I always do. The Wanna Play Cafe. Check out the Facebook page. Give us a like. Look at all our fun events and stuff like that.
Got any good events coming up soon?
So we did the Halloween party. And now we have a murder mystery night. I think I talked about it last podcast, maybe?
You might have mentioned it slightly, but it's ever closer now.
Yeah, we overbooked, and we actually had to do a second night for it, which now we had 50 people for the first one sold out, and then we already have 40 people capacity for the second one.
Yeah, you're going to be doing one every Sunday at this rate.
Yeah, pretty much. And we're hoping if it goes really well, we're going to be doing these every couple months. Mm-hmm. Probably every quarter or so every 3 months we'll probably do one. So that's exciting.
What's the date on that?
So the first one's November 5th, and then the second one is November 12th, so it's the following Sunday.
Yeah, so if you're in Utica and you want to get tickets for that, get tickets for the November 12th one.
Yep, there's only 10 spots left as of right now.
Well, you can wait for them to open up a third day.
We've had people request a third one. Like, holy crap, like, let's sell the tickets for the second one before we start making a third one.
Were you expecting that to be that popular?
No!
What were you expecting?
I was expecting to just barely get 20 people, because in this thing I bought, that we got for it, it does the main character list is 20 people. And I said, if I get 20 people, I'm doing it. Because then at least we have all the main characters and it would be fun. Didn't expect to get, because the game plays up to 80 people.
Yeah.
I can't fit more than 50 people comfortably in the cafe.
Well, like, the fire code will be involved.
Fire codes and people won't be very comfortable. It'll be very, very cramped. I mean, you were there New Year's. There was over 50. There was 60, and it was like, holy moly.
That was fun.
Yeah. But, also fun fact I also want to bring up, we have the Extra Life event this Saturday night. They are doing the charity stream. So if you want to tune into that, they will be broadcasting at the cafe. You can make donations right on their Twitch as they stream. We will be there playing games all night long. Be sure to check that out for the Extra Life charity.
Yeah, here, I'll send me a link to that. I'll put that in the description.
Yeah,
check that out in the description. You can watch that live. You know, see Ty play some games. Any games on the docket in particular? Or?
I mean, it's mainly the guys at Phoenix Overdrive that are doing it, to actually the mainstream.
Yeah.
I'll be there in the background also playing games, so you don't really see what I'm doing.
What do you want to play?
I do really want to get a mean Mario Kart tournament going, but I couldn't find Mario Kart last night.
Oh no.
You were there.
I know.
I don't know where it is and I'm freaking out.
Oh no.
So, I might bring in the N64.
Backup plan's going to be Competitive Harvest Moon.
No, it's definitely not going to be that.
Competitive Harvest Moon 64.
It's probably going to...
16 screens, 16 64s.
I'm probably going to end up playing Rocket League probably for the most of the night. That's probably what I'm going to do. But
Yeah, and for me, obviously, I'm doing this podcast. It's going to be on the Cittiverse channel. You're probably watching it right now, so
yeah.
So
you
check out the podcast that you're currently watching right now.
Yeah, you click.
Go right back to zero and start all over again. Relive the journey.
You could watch all the older ones that are on our other channel that we used to do it. Those are fun too.
Yeah, you could watch those too. Those will be fun.
Yeah.
But stuff that I'm doing, it's getting close to Halloween. My Dairy Simulator fan comic, Dank Midori, I am going to do a Halloween special for it. At the time of recording this, I have one that I was writing, but I'm not sure if it's going to get finished in time.
Yeah.
It's multi-part, and I started way too late.
Yeah.
But I do have a backup Halloween special.
That's good.
Which will be the last in a trilogy of comics that I've done so far. So be excited for that. Dank Midori comes out every Tuesday. On my DeviantArt page, that should be in the description as well.
Yep.
Other than that, I've been trying to do more speed drawings because Cuphead did really well. I think I'm at 14,000 on that.
Really?
Thank you to everybody who checked that out and left positive comments. There's a lot of really good positive comments on there that really made me feel good.
I know. I was reading up on some of them. I'm really glad you hit the mark there.
Thank you. So I've been trying to come up with some more, but I got sick last week. So yeah. I was going to record some, but I just had no time and I was tired and sad.
Yeah, I get it.
But now I'm better. So I might have some time to record some things. Now that Halloween's over, I don't have to worry about doing all the Halloween stuff I want to do.
You could do a fun Mario Odyssey, but Mario as a funny stupid thing. Because Mario could be a dinosaur now.
Yeah, he can do a lot of stuff.
He can do a lot of stuff with his magical hat.
Mm-hmm. I've seen the pictures on the internet of him doing some other stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Nintendo's taking it a bit of a different direction.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna draw anything like that, though.
Yeah, I know.
I don't do that kind of art.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll probably do something for Mario Odyssey. I want to do something from A Hat in Time because
that'd be fun.
Because Hat Kid is a little cutie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
There's literally a button you can press in game that makes her go.
Really?
Yeah, there's a smooch button.
That's funny.
There is a smooch button in A Hat in Time.
That's adorable.
You need to get it. I don't even own it yet. I want it though.
You need to buy this game.
There's so many good games coming out. I need to get them. But yeah, other than that, I would say successful podcast.
Yeah.
If you like this podcast and like other stuff that we do on this channel, hit us up with a subscription here on the Cittiverse. Check out some of our other stuff. I do a lot of drawing videos. Do these obviously.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe Tyler and I will do some other fun stuff on this channel.
Hopefully, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Part of me was thinking about bringing back my Death Road to Canada playthroughs.
I do want to bring back some Let's Plays.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a lot of fun.
I don't want to focus on it though. I want to focus on art, but
I get it, but
it would be fun to bring back Death Road. I got a couple unreleased Death Road videos from the past. So so if you liked what you saw here today, hit up the subscription. Until then though, we will see you next time.
Yes, we will indeed.
Yep. Have a good one, Internet Land.
Bye-bye.
Who are we waving to?
Oh, the guy in the window over there.
Oh God. Nom, nom, nom. Hi, I'm Tyler Benoit, talking like a normal man.
Uh-huh.
This is the way I talk all the time.
I'm eating Doritos. This episode is sponsored by not Doritos. Mm-hmm. They are not Doritos.
But please sponsor us. Please, I beg of you.
Yeah, we got the party style.
Here, I'll even get some good ASMR on the camera there of me eating the Doritos.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can hear the satisfaction in every crunch.
There's a reason they call it Cool Ranch.
Why?
Because it's so dang cool.
Yeah.